about the subject of what's going to happen after we take over the government. We become responsible then for administrating, 250 million people. And there was no answers. No one had given any thought to economics. How are you going to clothe and feed these people? The only thing that I could get was that they expected that the Cubans and the North Vietnamese and the Chinese and the Russians would all want to occupy different portions of the United States. They also believed that their immediate responsibility would be to protect against what they called the counter-revolution. And they felt that this counter-revolution could best be guarded against by creating and establishing ReEducation centers in the Southwest, where we would take all the people who needed to be re-educated into the new way of thinking and teach them how things were going to be. I asked, well, what is going to happen to those people that we can't re-educate, that are die-hard capitalists? And the reply was that they'd have to be eliminated. And when I pursued this further, they estimated that they would have to eliminate 25 million people in these re-education centers. And when I say eliminate, I mean kill 25 million people. I want you to imagine sitting in a room with 25 people, most of which have graduate degrees from Columbia and other well-known educational centers, and hear them figuring out the logistics for the elimination of 25 million people. And they were dead serious.
Now, people ask why I get upset on air, and it's because I've got hundreds of points I want to make. I'm teleprompter free, and I'm just so upset and frustrated because I know we're up against people just like Larry Grathwohl, just died a few years ago, was breaking down. By the way, I interviewed him several times over the years. I didn't know how sick he was right before he died. I interviewed him. We should probably dig that interview up, and I think after Trump gets inaugurated and gets in, we should probably take some of the folks that aren't here with us anymore and posthumously give them awards for their fight against the globalists, and maybe even give some cash rewards to their family, just because we need to recognize the real patriots and have our own award ceremonies, not to ourselves, but to those that have paid the ultimate price and fought so hard. That's why it's disgusting to see Biden being awarded Medal of Freedom in a surprise ceremony brimming with emotion. Obama presents VP, the nation's top civilian honor. I mean, they admit everything they're doing is to sabotage this country for the globalists, to sell us out to the communist Chinese. They gave the 14 to 20 million identities, an entire system to roll up the entire U.S. spy network and all of their assets. They blew us wide open. They brought us down. They sold us out. That's another reason you're seeing this whole struggle right now, is because they've just gone so far. They've opened the borders for 3 years and let people in that they know have syphilis, drug-resistant TB, and yes, even things like flesh-eating bacteria and, of course, leprosy. I would tell people about leprosy 3 years ago because I have health department sources in Florida, Texas, and California, and they would say, oh, you're crazy, there's no leprosy. Well, now it's in the Associated Press. They put kids with leprosy in schools in Texas and in California in liberal areas, and then let it spread, and then use it as a test case with the health departments through DHS to see if they can cover it up. Just like they used Ebola cases all over the United States, and they were all over the United States, and it even came out here and there as a cover-up drill. All of this is testing what they can get away with, and a criminal, globalist, multinational cabal is in control of the CIA. The robber barons set up the UN to transfer our power to it and other multinational groups like TPP and the WTO. We're now awakening to that and saying no. And so now they are openly, just like they did with the electors and the recount, nobody believed me until it started happening, they're now priming the pump for civil emergency in the next 7 days with huge riots kicking off. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying they're planning it. They admit it. They have been prepping it. They're saying that the election should be suspended. And so I'm going to ask David this as I leave. Okay, and I want him to think and write some notes here. David, and I want to ask Snyder coming up, I want to ask you, the listeners, I want to create a debate around this. What do we do with 7 days out here on Friday the 13th to focus attention on this and to expose it? I think we tweeted Trump. We write articles. We put out videos.